Welcome to 21 Days of Prayer and Fasting. We hope that everything's going well for you and you're not too hungry, but that it's a good spiritual time with the Lord, that you're growing, you're learning new things. And today we're going to be learning about trusting the Lord and learning a little bit about what that entails. And during this fast, maybe there's some moments where you're like, I'm doing this, but I'm not sure if things are really going what I thought they were.
Mhm.
And so with me today is Pastor Jessica, and she's going to be
Hey.
talking about trusting the Lord.
Yeah.
And welcome, Pastor Jessica.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm excited. So this is a lot of people, like you said, might be in just a different season since maybe the last time you did a fast or the last time you did, some sort of like scheduled prayer
Mm,
for devotional time. Just made look different
yeah.
because of the season of life that you're in. And I think that that's what spoke to me most was the last time I did a prayer and fast. I definitely wasn't where I am now, like as a mom with kids
Yeah.
and so, trusting that the outcome when you trust the Lord is going to be, the same
Yeah.
as that other season, even now. That's huge,
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing for me is don't don't not start because you feel like it's not where you need to be or you're not, in that season where it looks comfortable or
Well,
feels
yeah,
like it's supposed to be.
where it looks like everything that influencers say you need to
I
be at.
I literally was talking about that with my husband, and I was like, I feel like sometimes I am just like, "Oh, I wanna get up in the morning and I wanna have, my warm cup of coffee." And this is just in normal devotional time. I wanna get up and I wanna, like, have my coffee or my, tea, and I wanna sit next to the window, and it's just beautiful and have that time. But my children are at an age where if I get up and I tiptoe down the hallway, there is something that clicks in their mind that's like, "Mom is awake. We are walking down the hall," and I'm like, "Great." So that time doesn't look the same,
Yeah.
I wanna highlight something so beautifully in my Bible, but I can't find my highlighter. I mean, it's just those things. So don't let those things keep you from starting something that God wants to do in your life because prayer and fasting is an invitation from Him for intimacy. And so you don't keep yourself from that because
Yeah.
it doesn't look like it's supposed to look.
Yeah. And what is like a good scriptural backup for this?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about these principles, but like it's in the Bible too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the one that I picked for today is Proverbs 3:5. Just, simply it's a pretty popular verse. Everybody has probably heard it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. And I think that what I underlined like a million times was in all your ways
Yeah.
acknowledge him in all your ways, trust him because, I can say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that because I've been here before. I've been at this moment before." Moms have I've done this with my kids before. This is the outcome, so I'm just not even going to start. And when we think that way, we're not trusting God. We're not fully acknowledging his power and what he can do in our lives. We have to take the step and we have to put that trust in action. We have to like move forward in that.
Yeah.
We can't just say it.
And the
Yeah.
hardest part about all of this, especially when you're wrestling with that verse, I remember the first time that I really like studied that verse,
Yeah.
or even just I say meditated, but if you just repeat it like
Yeah.
20
Yeah.
times, by the 20th time you
Yeah.
start realizing what it's really trying to get you to say
Yeah.
or get you to think.
Yeah.
And the one part is lean not on your own understanding.
Mhm.
And that's so hard
Yeah.
when you have two eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
but I really don't see
Yeah.
like, and you're talking from the perspective of a parent. Lord, I know what you're saying, but I
Yeah.
really don't see it today, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it can look that way for a job.
Yeah.
There's a job opportunity and you're like, "God, I do not see how this is going to bring me here."
Yeah.
And you're praying, "God, I want to follow you. I want to lean into your will for my life. This is I know you've called me to do this, but I don't see how this is taking me there." That's where that trust is. And you have to pray. And that's where your own understanding goes out the window. It really does. And it has to go out the window because you have to fully rely on him
Yeah.
for that. And I mean, the Song of Solomon, or sorry, King Solomon is talking about that you gain the whole book is talking about gaining wisdom and gaining peace. And all of that comes from trusting God.
Yeah.
Not with the little tiny things only, but all of it, big things, small things. So trusting him with your job, trusting him with your finances, trusting him, with your children after you've, done
Yeah.
what you needed to do as a parent, and they're out there, just trusting him that he is going to make that path straight for you. And just, yeah, lean into that, I think.
Yeah. And as we're on this fasting journey, what are some good ways to pray about this
Yeah.
or add this to our prayer time to get back into a place of trusting in the Lord if we've been in a season where, like what you were saying, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I trust you, Lord, but
Yeah.
I kind of want to hold on to the reins a little bit because that makes
Yeah.
me feel good,
Yeah. I think there was something that I've kind of been thinking about for a few months already. And I think that was God kind of preparing my heart for this season, because exactly what I've talked about, this time of devotion, this time of fasting looks totally different for me as a mom in this season than it has before. And part of that is because of perfectionism. I
Mm,
want things to be in such a way, and we have to let go of it. And so one of the major things to pray is, God, take away that perfectionism.
yeah.
God, release that from me. I want what you have for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be perfect. If I spill my coffee all over me in the morning, sure, I'll go change clothes, but does it ruin my whole day? No. There's going to be another moment where I
Mm.
could get another cup of coffee and have just as good of a time, like
Yeah.
for the rest of the day. I can get myself in that place. But I think praying specifically
Mm,
for the perfectionism, I wrote down taking, the Lord taking all the worries and the fears away, because there's a fear in letting go of something
yeah.
that you want to do, letting go of what I've been here before, I've done this before and it didn't work out. You have to let go. That old saying, let go and let God. That's probably in somebody's kitchen somewhere,
Yeah.
but you have to let go of it. And that's scary sometimes. And it brings worry and sometimes anxiety for people. But praying specifically for that, to let go of that so that you can move forward.
Yeah.
And just praying that my understanding, is submitted to your understanding, to the Lord's understanding and
Yeah.
what he has for my life, I think, very specifically.
Yeah. So that's a good challenge to add those ways of praying
Mhm.
into your fasting time,
Yeah.
especially if you're struggling with trusting the Lord, not
Yeah.
in a outrageous way, but in just
Right.
a way of you realize, oh, I feel like I'm trying to take control where I need to give you control, Lord.
Yeah.
And so pray those prayers
Mhm.
and even read or Proverbs 3:5
Mhm.
over and over
Yeah.
and over. And
Yeah.
by the 20th, by the 50th time,
Yeah.
100th time you read it over, it will start to sink in.
Yeah.
No, I need to trust you. No,
Yes.
I need to let go
Mhm.
because you promised. And it's interesting that we always forget.
Yeah.
He says he promises he will show you the path.
He will show you exactly what you need to be doing. He'll show it to you. Yeah. You just have to let go.
So do it.
Yeah.
Read Proverbs 3:5 over and over again. Pray those prayers. And we hope that this enhances and encourages you on your fasting journey.